Chapter 51, page 236, Freedom of the Press. Peter Zenger was 13 when he sailed to America. He set out from Germany in 1710 with his parents and his brother and sister. They were excited when they left their home. They were looking forward to a good life in a land of freedom and opportunity. But their voyage was long, and much worse than anyone expected. Some people died on the ship. Peter's father was one of them. Stop and think how the Zenger children must have felt when the ship finally docked in New York. Their father was dead. They were in a strange land. They had to learn a new language, and they had no money. Their first home was a tent. How would you have felt? Peter became an apprentice to a printer. He was apprenticed for 8 years. His brother became a carpenter's apprentice. His mother and his sister went to work in a Dutch household, helping with the housework. They were indentured servants. Zenger was apprenticed to William Bradford, a Quaker who was one of the best printers in the colonies. The Bradfords treated Peter kindly. During the day, he learned the printing trade. At night, Peter went to school, and Mrs. Bradford helped him with his schoolwork. Top of page 237. When Peter was 21, he was finally free to go out on his own, and he did. First, he set up a print shop in Maryland, but later he moved back to New York. There was enough work in that city for 2 printers. William Bradford was now publishing a newspaper, the New York Gazette. It was the official royal paper. It said only what the English governor wanted said. Now, I won't go into all the politics of the time. They were just as complicated in the 18th century as they are now. But I will tell you that William Cosby, the king's governor, was a rotten governor. He couldn't stand people who disagreed with him. 2 important lawyers urged Zenger to start a newspaper that would criticize the governor and his politics. They said people should be able to read both sides of a story. Zenger did it. He founded a newspaper called the New York Weekly Journal. It was full of spicy articles. People looked forward to reading it each week. Some articles said Governor Crosby took bribes, took away people's lands, and made elections come out the way he wanted them to. The articles were probably written by Zenger's lawyer friends, but no one is sure because they were signed with made-up pen names. Governor Crosby was furious. He wanted the paper to stop publication, but Zenger wouldn't stop. He was arrested and sent to jail. That didn't stop the New York Weekly Journal. Peter's wife became the new publisher. The articles criticizing the governor continued. Peter Zenger stayed in jail for almost 10 months. A trial date was set. The court assigned him with a young lawyer with little experience. The day of the trial came. It was a hot day in August 1735. The courtroom was full of spectators. Suddenly, an old man in a powdered wig entered and stood before the judge. When he said his name, there were gasps and whispers throughout the courtroom. He was Andrew Hamilton, a Quaker from Philadelphia, and a friend of Benjamin Franklin and William Penn. Andrew Hamilton was the most famous lawyer in all the colonies, and he had come to take Peter Zenger's case. The Attorney General, who was the government's lawyer, said Zenger was guilty of libel. Libel is a crime. You can go to jail for libel. Today in America, 2 things are necessary to prove you have committed libel. You must publish something you know is a lie, and that lie must hurt a person. Let's say you write an article stating that Mary Smith is a thief. You know that is not true. Mary Smith's boss reads that article and fires her. You have committed libel. She can sue you. Libel laws were not very clear in the 18th century. Zenger had printed nasty things about Governor Crosby, but most people thought the things he said were true. So what, said the Attorney General. It didn't matter if nasty things were true. Truth was no defense, he said. Now, in those days, it was a crime to say something bad about the king, even if it was true. The Attorney General said the governor was just like the king. He said that gave the governor special rights. Top of page 239. It's too bad that we weren't there to hear what Lawyer Hamilton said. They say he spoke very softly and everyone listened. Some people who were there seemed to know they were hearing history being made. Free men have the right to complain when hurt, said Andrew Hamilton. They have a right to oppose arbitrary power by speaking and writing truths, to assert with courage the sense they have of the blessings of liberty, the value they put upon it, and their resolution. To prove it one of the greatest blessings heaven can bestow. There is no libel if the truth is told, he said.